The next idea in the mind persuasion vault is the idea of identity priming. This is an extremely powerful yet little known aspect of psychology. It's been estimated that 95% of the reason that we do anything is because we've done those things in the past. One of the most repeatable laws in the world of influence is the law of commitment and consistency. This is discussed at length in the Cialdini Persuasion section. The main idea is that we do things because they are congruent with the way we've behaved in the past. This is why we go to the same restaurants, eat the same food, buy the same brands, etc. But we also do things because they are congruent with our identity, things that we believe are true about ourselves. But here's where it gets interesting. When asked if we are a certain type of person, we will always say, yes, I am a certain type of person if that person has socially desirable traits. For example, in one experiment, researchers asked targets for their email. 70% said no. But then, before they asked for the email, they asked if they considered themselves to be adventurous. And because being adventurous is considered a socially desirable trait, everybody said yes. Then they asked for the email. And this second time, 70% said yes. This is the core idea behind identity priming. You first figure out the kind of person that would buy your product or the kind of person that would do whatever you're intending to persuade your target to do. Then you figure out a way to ask your target if they consider themselves to be that kind of person. And if you frame this so it is a socially desirable trait, they will say yes. Then they will be much more likely to buy your product or go along with your idea since they just identify themselves as somebody who does that kind of thing. And in the identity priming category, you'll learn a lot of clever ways to do this. First is the basic theory. How it works, and why it is so persuasive. Next is the idea of presuppositional questions. These are very advanced questions that presuppose that they have the trait you're trying to get them to admit that they have. For example, suppose you're trying to get somebody to admit that they are the kind of person that takes bold action. You could say, hey, are you the kind of person that takes bold action? They could say yes, they could say no. But instead, you ask a presuppositional question that presupposes that they are the kind of person that takes bold action. A question like this: say, of all the times you've taken bold action in the past, how did you know when it would work out so well? Just by answering that question, they will accept the presupposition that they are the kind of person that takes bold action, which of course will significantly increase the probability that they will do whatever you want them to do. The next section is social situations. Several presuppositional questions that will identity prime them with various social behaviors that will make it much more likely that they will go along with what you want them to do. You'll find that identity priming is a very, very powerful technique that you can use in both sales settings and social settings to get your targets to do whatever you want them to do. Join the Mind Persuasion Vault today and become the most persuasive, charismatic conversationalist they have ever met.